So it's been a week since I ran my first marathon, and the reason I signed up for this marathon, I just wanted to test myself. I wanted to test how strong I was mentally, what I'm mentally capable of. Because at the beginning, I backed out of this marathon. I walked 8 miles before, and I was tired. I mean, and then to run a marathon mentally, like it just wasn't it for me, especially with 3 weeks of training. That's the reason I wanted to do it. But if you're not motivated, like those first 7 miles, 8 miles, like you just gotta run them. You get this huge obstacle of you don't feel like doing this, like unless you're super more motivated at the beginning of the race, you might get a side stitch. You're gonna face these obstacles. After the first 8 miles, like you get into the runner's high, which is basically a flow state. This is where like you're not even thinking, you're just running. Like you're just left, right, and you're not thinking about the time, how much miles you got left. Like this is the self-actualization point, the highest point could be in a marathon. It usually lasts from like at least for me, it lasted from mile 8 and it ended at mile 15, 16. So yeah, the from 1 through 8, that's like where you gotta push yourself, unless you're motivated. If you're not motivated that day, then you gotta push yourself. If you are, then mount 1 through 8, they won't be as difficult. Another thing is that you're probably gonna get a side stitch, most likely. That's when I got my side stitch. And when you get a side stitch, the best thing you could do is you just have to keep running. And you have to remember that after the side stitch, like you're gonna get into that runner's high. The side stitch is just an obstacle that you have to go through, that you have to go over. From miles 8 through 16 or 8 through 15, like you're in that runner's high completely. There are no obstacles. You're in the zone, you're confident in yourself. Well, you feel like you could keep running forever, but the best way to describe it is you're not thinking, you're in a flow state. You're at the highest point you'll be in the race. You see how a bell curve is in this shape? Like this is the beginning. This is that middle part of the race where you're in a runner's high, and this part, which I'm gonna talk about next, is mile 18 through 26.2. Mile 18 through 26.2. That's when like everything started. Well, for me, everything started hurting at mile 10. But since I was in that runner's high, it didn't really matter that much. Like you just keep running because you're in a flow state. However, when you're in miles 18 through 26 or 26.2, you just gotta muscle it out. That's when you really find out how mentally strong you are, because that's all it is. I was at mile 16 through 18, like I saw a lot of people, a lot of faces start to change, because you're not in that runner's high anymore. You're in a state of fight or flight, and some people quit, and some people, they keep going, like I did. I kept running. That end part of the race is going to show, and that's when you're going to find out if you're really cut out for this. If you needed all that training, in my case, I didn't train much. But yeah, the first part of the race, miles 1 through 8, that's like the discipline part. If you're not motivated that day, and if you are motivated that day, then miles 1 through 8 shouldn't be that hard. But miles 1 through 8, you're going to get a side stitch. There's going to be some sort of obstacle that you just have to go through. Miles 8 through 16 is by far the easiest part of the race. You're going to get into that runner's high. At least I did. Miles 8 through 16 is the feeling you get when you're on vacation. You're having fun. You're not worried about anything. Just left, right. You're running. Left foot, right foot. Miles between 16 and 18 through 26.2, which is the end of the race, you're going to have to muscle it out. Especially if you're not trained or conditioned, you have to muscle it out, and you just have to keep running. Left, right. And it doesn't matter the pain. When I got to mile 20, my ankles were basically, they gave out. But I just kept running. I didn't I didn't care about any pain I had, and I just kept running. That's all it is. You just have to keep putting your left foot forward and then your right foot after that. And if you could do that from miles 18 to 26.2, you're going to finish the race.